I want to ask you something strange. Not about the past, not about right now, about tomorrow. Not the weather, not your plans, not the prediction. Something deeper than that. Have you ever noticed, and I mean really noticed, how much of what you do today has almost nothing to do with today? Why you saved that money, why you held your tongue, why you stayed in something that wasn't working, why you left. It wasn't about now, it was about tomorrow. And here's what I find strange. Tomorrow has never arrived. It never will. The moment it does, it becomes today. And yet it already controls us. The question I keep returning to is this. What would tomorrow think? Now, I want to be careful here. Tomorrow is not the person. It does not have opinions. This is not science fiction. This is not destiny. The power of that question is not in the answer. It's in what happens to you when you begin to ask it. When did she change those words? Not because of anything happening right now, because of how tomorrow might receive them. Tomorrow was already in the room. Why is he still awake? Because tomorrow depends on what he does tonight. Not what he wants tonight. What tomorrow needs. Every human culture, everywhere in history, has built structures around tomorrow. Laws, contracts, religions, pension funds, hospitals, schools, all of them say the same thing underneath. Tomorrow is real. Tomorrow matters. Tomorrow is coming for you. And so we prepare, we sacrifice, we delay pleasure, we accept pain, all for something that technically does not yet exist. Think about time you did something difficult, something didn't want to do, that cost you comfort, money, time, sleep. What did you do it? Why did you do it? I'll tell you why. Because somewhere inside you was a picture of a tomorrow that would be different, better, safer, freer. That picture, that imagined future, was powerful, more powerful than the discomfort of the present. Tomorrow won. Let's start with money, because money is one of the most honest places to watch tomorrow at work. Why do people save? Not because saving feels good. It often doesn't. It means less now, less comfort, less freedom, less pleasure. Today, we save because we are afraid of tomorrow, a tomorrow where we have nothing. That fear of a tomorrow we cannot see, cannot guarantee, cannot control. It's so powerful that it reshapes what we do every single day. Tomorrow, as fear, is perhaps the most constant force in human behavior. It is why people stay in jobs they hate, why they don't say what they feel, why they smile when they don't want to. Not because today demands it, because tomorrow might punish them if they don't. But tomorrow is not only fear, there is another face, hope. When someone endures something brutal, years of study, years of waiting, years of being unseen, they endure it because tomorrow holds a promise, not a guarantee, a possibility, a maybe. And that maybe is enough. This is one of the most remarkable things about human beings. We can suffer enormously in the present and continue if we believe tomorrow will be different. Take away that belief, and the suffering becomes unbearable. Not because it got worse, because tomorrow stopped making sense of it. Tomorrow, as hope, is what transforms meaningless pain into meaningful sacrifice. Here's something I think about often. Most human anxiety is not about what is happening, it is about what might happen. Tomorrow, imagined, feared, rehearsed, can dominate today completely. The conversation that hasn't happened yet, the diagnosis not yet given, the outcome not yet known. These tomorrows are not real, but they are experienced as real. The body responds to them as real. The mind cannot always tell the difference. This is what makes anxiety so exhausting. It forces you to live in multiple tomorrows simultaneously, none of which have arrived, most of which never will. And still, you cannot stop. Because some part of you believes that if you imagine the worst, you might be ready for it. You might survive it. Even anxiety is trying to protect you. Even anxiety is listening to tomorrow. And then there's procrastination, which looks like the opposite of listening to tomorrow, but isn't. When we delay something, we are not ignoring tomorrow, we are negotiating with it. We tell ourselves, tomorrow I will be more ready. Tomorrow I will have more energy. Tomorrow the conditions will be better. Procrastination is a promise made to tomorrow that today cannot keep. We know this, we know we are lying to ourselves, and yet tomorrow keeps accepting the promise. Because tomorrow always sounds more capable than today. Tomorrow, me seems braver, calmer, more organized, more ready. That is the cruelest part. Tomorrow, you isn't built for imagination. Today, you is built from reality. And imagination is almost always wins. Here's something I want you to sit with. Regret is almost never about the past. It feels like the past, it lives in memories of past choices. But the thing that makes regret painful, truly painful, is what it says about the future. We regret what we did yesterday because of what it might mean for tomorrow. If the future was certain, if we knew that everything would still be fine, regret would have no teeth. Regret hurts because tomorrow is still open, still uncertain, still potentially affected by what we did or did not do. Even looking backward, we are looking at tomorrow. Perhaps the deepest phase of tomorrow is this. Tomorrow is where meaning lives, not in what already happened, not in abstract present, in what is still possible, what is still becoming. When someone plants a tree, they will never sit under. They are doing something philosophically extraordinary. They are placing meaning entirely in the tomorrow they will not see. They are living for a future they will not include them. That would not include them. And somehow this not makes it meaningless. It makes it more meaningful because the willingness to care about the tomorrow you will not experience, that's one of the most human things there is. That is love stretched across time. And then there's the tomorrow that freezes us. Not the tomorrow of hope, not the tomorrow of fear, but the tomorrow of too many possibilities. When a decision must be made and every option leads to a different tomorrow, and we cannot know which one is right, we sometimes do the hardest thing of all, nothing. We wait, not for wisdom, from the terror of choosing for the wrong tomorrow, and the waiting becomes its own tomorrow, when where the decision remains ours and the uncertainty remains alive. Sometimes the most honest thing I can say, I did not choose. I could not choose. Tomorrow had too many doors, and I stood at all of them. I want to arrive now at the thing that I find genuinely strange. Not unsettling, just strange. In a way, the way that certain true things are strange once you really look at them. Tomorrow never comes. I mean this literally. Think about it. Every day of your life, you have woken up into today, never into tomorrow. Tomorrow always moves forward. You can never catch it. It recedes as you approach. The moment tomorrow arrives, it stops being tomorrow. It becomes now, and a new tomorrow takes its place. Which means every single decision you have made, ever made, every sacrifice, every fear, every hope, every plan, was made for something that by definition cannot exist. Tomorrow is always one step ahead, and we have been chasing it our entire lives, and now we just. So if tomorrow never arrives, what is it? I think tomorrow is a structure, a human structure, not a place in time, a way of being human. Tomorrow is how we carry continuity, how we tell ourselves that we are the same person who woke up yesterday and will wake up again. That what we do now connects to what comes later. Without tomorrow, there is no plan, no promise, no growth, no love that endures longer than a moment. Tomorrow is what makes us coherent. It's the thread that runs through everything, through your work, your relationships, your fear, your grief, your stubbornness, your tenderness. You are not just a person who exists in the present. You are a person oriented toward what is not yet here. And that orientation, that leaning forward into the unknown, might be the most human thing about you. This is what I want to leave with you. Not an answer, just a question to carry. If tomorrow is already shaping you, quietly, constantly, in every hesitation and every sacrifice and every dream, then in some real sense, tomorrow is already here. Not as a date, as a presence. It's not in the money you saved and didn't spend, in the words you didn't say, in the work you didn't when no one was watching, in the thing you endured because you believed it would matter. Tomorrow was in all of it. It has always been in all of it. I started this with a strange question. What would tomorrow think? I'm not going to answer it. I don't think it can be answered. But I hope that by now the question feels different than it did. Not abstract, not philosophical in the way that feels distant and academic. Personal, because this is personal. What you do with your tomorrow, the one that keeps moving ahead of you, the one you keep working towards, that's the one of the most intimate things about you. It reveals what you value, what you fear, what you hope for, what you cannot let go of. So I just ask you to sit with it. Not to solve it, not to decide anything. Just to notice maybe for the first time, or maybe for 100 times, but more clearly for how much of your life is already being shaped by something that hasn't arrived yet. Tomorrow knows, it always has.